This is Radioonfire.com. Yours truly, Don McKay, in here. Thank you for joining me. Of course, we're coming at you from the Radio on Fire studios here in Baltimore, Maryland. And so yesterday, I posted today's topic on Facebook and Instagram and all of our social media. And the response that we got was tremendous. A lot of people having opinions on today's topic. And quite frankly, I was not expecting so many people to have a position on this. Because for so long we've heard, quite frankly, I was not expecting so many people. We've heard women and men talk about independent women, and that's what we're going to talk about. So the question that I posted, let me pull it up here so I make sure that I don't misquote myself. The topic. So the question that I posted is a simple one. Do independent women really need men? That was a question. And so like I said, a lot of interesting dialogue and back and forth, and we're going to get into that. And we're going to talk about that. Do independent women, I need to say it. Do independent women, quote unquote independent women, really need men? Because nowadays we hear this woman, she's an independent woman. This woman, she's an independent woman. But before we can really dive into this, before we can really establish whether this is true or not, I think first and foremost, we have to establish just what an independent woman is. What is an independent woman? So that's the question. To me, before we can even go in depth about this, we have to first establish just exactly what an independent woman is. So, definition of an independent woman, it can vary. It can vary from person to person, right? So, Urban Dictionary says that a woman who pays her own bills, buys her own things, and does not allow a man to affect her stability or self-confidence. She supports herself entirely on her own and is proud to be able to do so. That's the definition of an independent woman. I agree with that definition. So let's go over that. Let's say that one more time. An independent woman is a woman who pays her own bills, buys her own things, and does not allow a man to affect her stability or self-confidence. She supports herself entirely on her own. And is proud to be able to do so. That's the definition of an independent woman. So let me ask the question again. Do independent women really need men? That is the question. So, with that definition being said, and let me say this, we're going to get another perspective here. So, Daryl James, who is an author and a blogger, he has a book called Bridging the Black Gender Gap. And Daryl James says that an independent woman has gone excessively far, and its meaning is inconsistent in many ways, cartoonish, mannish, and just plain unattractive. Daryl James also says that in a quest for so-called independence, some women have given up substantial portions of their womanhood. They stop doing things that make them women. That's what Daryl James says. And this has been become detrimental to fostering meaningful relationships in the black community. Whoa, he had to go there. That is Daryl James talking about independent women. So, but we're going to talk about independent women. And some of these comments that I saw as it relates to the question were very interesting. Very interesting. We got a lot of interesting feedback from this question. Do independent women really need men? So we talked about what an independent woman is, at least by several definitions. And Tina Portis, she's an entrepreneur and a former single mother of 3. She says that independence is a natural part of adulthood. So she said that an independent woman should not and do not need a pat on the back for doing what grown-ups are supposed to do, i.e., pay their bills, buy houses, cars, etc. She says y'all don't deserve nor need a pat on the back. And I think that that's what a lot of women want. You want a pat on the back. But I'm not trying to dump on women. Guys want pats on the back for things that we're supposed to do also. But we're talking about independent women. So I think that a lot of women just throw the word independent around. They just throw it around. I'm an independent woman. I'm an independent woman. Whenever something doesn't go their way as it relates to a guy, the supposed independent woman, she says, men are intimidated by me because I'm an independent woman. Which could be further from the truth. Just because everything doesn't go your way after you classify yourself as being independent doesn't mean that we are intimidated by you. So a lot of women said that they really do need men, even so-called independent women. I'm looking at the comments, and so Danielle said that no, we don't need. However, we want a strong one riding with us. Now, you know, need is an interesting thing. Need. You need food. You need water. Take a water break. You need water. You need food. Do men need women? Yes. Yes, we do. Do women need men? Yes, I say you do. But here's what's interesting about independent women, at least the ones that I've seen. A lot of independent women want a man to do what they call manly tasks. Things that are gender specific. Take out the trash, wash my car, change my tire, shovel the snow. These things. And of course, some women are going to say, oh, wait, I do that stuff. And that's true. And you may do that stuff. So when we say, does an independent woman need a man? They may want a man to do some of these things. So with the feminism that has, come about, a lot of women want and deserve the same pay that a man gets for the same job. I think that that's fair. But what happened is that a lot of women want it both ways. They want to be equal to a man, but at the same time, they want to jump back in a woman, quote unquote, old school woman's role when it's convenient. When they're being lazy and they don't want to do something, then they want to jump back in that role and kind of play pity pat back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Many women saying that they need, no, but they want. A lot of women saying yes. So it's very interesting. Very interesting. And Anton said, we all need each other. It is a false narrative to believe that one needs to be independent of the other. I like that. I like that comment. I like that comment a lot because it says everybody chill out. You know what I mean? Everybody chill out as it relates to that. We need to be with each other. Now, here it comes, right? Stacy says, yes, however, only a man that can handle an independent woman. A healthy balance is necessary. Now, what does she mean by that? Only a man that can handle an independent woman. Does that mean that this woman's just talking all crazy because she has a job? Supposed to have a job. Supposed to have money. That doesn't give you a license to talk crazy. And if a man says something, you say he's intimidated or he can't handle a real woman. Right? And a lot of times, quote unquote, independent women tend to think that they know how a man is supposed to act. Where does this independent thing come from? Now, some people say that an independent woman transformed from the traditional housewife. You know how Big Mama was back in the day, a housewife, to some complex, female who is not trying to stay home and is not trying to be the housemaker. So that's what the independent woman has become. Where did this start? In the 60s, were there independent women? I don't know. I wasn't around, but from what I've read, I don't think it wasn't this big movement like it is now. What about in the 70s? I think that there were the starts of women wanting equality, more acceptance in the mainstream, and they deserved it. But in the 80s, this thing really, really started to jump off. Independent women. Kira says, I used to scream that independent woman shit. There is nothing wrong with doing things on your own. But why? Kira says, why is it that females feel a need that they don't need a man and can do bad all by themselves? That independent narrative is pushed way too much in the black community. It's sickening. I don't want to hear about a female screaming all day how she can get it on her own. Same way most females don't or can't stand when a nigga flexes. They don't want to hear you talking about you're independent. And that's coming from a woman. It's very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, I mean, I know in the club, we say, where all the sexy, single, independent ladies at? We say that because that gets the ladies to react. Based on music. A lot of it's based on music, but not totally. There was a time, a lot of social programs came in the 80s under Reaganomics that people could only qualify for if a man was not in the house. If a man wasn't in the house. If a man was in the house, they couldn't qualify, and they separated. And women started raising the kids, moreover, without the man being present in the house. Child support wasn't going down if the man was in the house, obviously. So this, in my opinion, led to the rise of the independent woman as a narrative. The 80s, Reaganomics. Thanks, Ron. But Lily says, women automatically think being independent only means needing a man financially. Not, she says. Men are necessary to provide support, protection, security, etc. Interesting. So, Cookie says yes, simply. Cassandra says companionship, security, and penis. All right. Keisha says nobody needs anybody, but man was made for woman and woman was made for man. We're supposed to be together. Nobody wants desensitized pussy from using sex toys. Sorry, I want a man, Keisha says. And shout out to Keisha. Katie says, hell yeah. Hell yeah, she needs a man. And Katie's an independent woman. Katie is out there getting it, doing her thing. Lorraine says that we don't need them. We want them. And they need to understand that they're an accessory, not a necessity. Whoa, I disagree with you, Lorraine. Because you need men for reproduction. I mean, of course, you can go to a doctor and get artificially inseminated. But where did that sperm come from? Oh, wait, it came from a man. Okay. Men without women means the world ends, at least population. So Danielle says, yes, absolutely. There's a sad misconception about the definition of an independent woman. This is Danielle saying this. An independent woman is not a man. Therefore, she will never be able to meet all of her own needs. Whoa, Danielle, I love that. She will not, the independent woman will not be able to meet her own needs. I'm continuing from Danielle's comment. A woman who attempts to live life with the belief that a man has no place in her life will generally have issues submitting to her mate. Some will argue about financial status and even masturbating, but the fact of the matter is a good man brings more to the table than money and sex. Damn, she killed that. I love that comment. I love that comment. Thank you, Danielle, for that. And, oh, wow. Okay, so, this is an interesting comment from my son's mother. How the hell did she get on this post? Okay, so she says, yes. I'm surprised to hear her say that. For all the things an independent woman is, has, and can do, there are just some things that only a man can provide. And if a woman thinks she doesn't need a man, she is truly mistaken. Thank you, Nicole. That is very interesting, and I'm very surprised to hear her say that. She's changed her views on things over the years. Absolutely, a lot of people agreeing with that. And, I understand women's desire to be self-sufficient. I do. I understand it. But don't take it too far. Don't take it too far. Now, we don't want a woman who is completely needy, right? We want a partnership. Most men want a partnership. Some men are old school in the regard that they want to do everything. They want you to sit on your ass, barefoot, pregnant, around the house, cooking, whatever, and they think that a woman's place is in the house. Some men feel like that. Whatever. I don't agree with that. I want a partner. We need to be partners. And that's just what it is. We need to be partners in this. But such is life. We're going to continue this conversation, of course. Radioonfire.com is where you go. Definitely let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at The Don McKay Show, at Radio on Fire. Very interesting conversation. I'm sure that we are going to revisit this at some point in time and all that kind of stuff. So thanks for listening.